Hampshire, and it's snowing like a banshee right now. So I'm just kind of making plans, getting my gear together. I want to go for a hike. It's cold, snowy, and cold, but let's go for a hike and let's see what we see. I want to try to find a new place today. I want to hike somewhere different and do some exploration, a place I've never been before. I don't even know where it is yet. I'm still researching a spot near me. I'd like to hike some power lines that are close to me, so we'll see. So let's go for a walk and see if we can find some Bigfoot sign. So since I couldn't, microphone. All right, my unprofessionalism shines through again. I hope that's on. Hello, is this thing on? Since I couldn't get across the river the other day, I want to go and explore further the other side of this forest. And I'm not crossing the river in this. I don't want to fall in and get all soaking wet and be embarrassed and ruin my gear and ruin my phone and all whatnots. It's cold. It's colder than I expected. I mean, I know it says it's 23 degrees, but it feels colder than that. The snow, it's strange because the snow is very wet and heavy. So I do have my poncho with me, so I think I'm going to use that today. Unlike the other day when I hiked, it was just kind of a sprinkle. I wasn't worried about it. This is the kind of weather where I had an issue a couple of years ago where I had that malfunction with my backpack, and it was a whole life-threatening situation that really, really scared me. So, but on that note of being scared at that moment, I was an idiot last night, and I watched a bunch of stuff on missing hikers and backpackers. Then I watched a special, some show about some murderer in Australia who used to just go out. He was a serial killer who just killed backpackers. I should have never done it because now I'm all scared. I got no backup. I got nobody with me today. I am bringing protection with me, but it's that kind of weather where I'm already cold. Just clearing the snow off of my van and stuff. I was already cold, so I'm busting out. I'm busting out the big guns. I'm bringing with me my LL Bean gloves. I've got. I'm layered pretty well. I have the poncho. That helps a lot. That actually keeps heat in, believe it or not. But I hope I didn't make a mistake. I'm not going to go too far, a couple of miles. But I had to make a decision when I was in the barn. I could either fit my food and my stove and stuff in here, or pull the food and my stove out and put in a dry sweatshirt. I chose the stove and the food, and I'm leaving behind any dry clothes, so all I've got is what I have. Oh, socks. I have LL Bean dry socks with me. I have this feeling that my feet are going to get wet today. It's not quite enough snow to put on the snowshoes, but I'm going out. I'm very excited. I'm taking advantage of the day off today. The weather was really bad, and I did not want to commute into Boston. My ride home would have been a 6-hour ride, for crying out loud. People just seem to panic whenever it snows. We're not getting a lot, but it's slippery, icy, and I don't want to deal with that commute coming out of Boston, coming back up into the mountains where the weather is just totally different. The weather's crazy up here in the mountains. I love it. But I'm letting my phone charge, having a little bit of coffee, kind of planning my route. Let's go. Let's do it. So I just walked in. I could still hear the traffic behind me from the road. And I don't remember this trail being marked so well. And it is. It's good. That's a good thing. It is beautiful out here, but boy, is it has a deathly quiet to it. Stupid serial killer, backpack serial killer's got me all freaked out now. As if I wasn't already apprehensive enough. What's that? If I wasn't already a little on edge, I have to worry about The backpack serial killer. Oh, it's so beautiful. It is cold out, boy. I have my poncho on, and I forgot how insulating it is. It's really nice and toasty. So I'm going to take this trail now. Me and Josh ventured over this side of the forest. We never quite made it to the road. But this coming in this way is where I messed up last time, and where I made some kind of mistake, and I kept going in circles and coming back to the same spot. When I had, you know what? Never mind. It gets confusing out here, is all I'm gonna say. See, now this to me looks like a trail to my right and a marked trail in front of me. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I've got a trail to my right, which is unmarked, completely unmarked. I don't see any blazes on the trees down this trail. It certainly looks like a trail to me. And then this trail here that has clear markings on the trees. And I think just with the taking into consideration the weather, and I'm not all that wicked familiar with this forest, I'm going to take the trail that is marked. I don't see a lot of tree bends or a lot of sign here. And I recall coming in, my very first time coming in here, I didn't really see a lot of sign, very little sign. Unlike on the other side of the river, in this same forest, the other side of the river is just littered with sign and structures, teepee structures and tree bends. So this is the same forest that I'm hiking now, where I left the marbles to the south of me and had some little foolery going on, which I think it could have been a number of things that took my marbles. Birds and crows and ravens and little woodland creatures and such that could have taken it. So it is in my belief that in this forest there is, you know, at least a family of Bigfoot that may call this home. I am noticing some leaners here and there, but I am in the woods. That kind of thing happens. Got a couple of different suspect leaners here. Got a couple of other interesting leaners here. Like this one here in the center of the screen. That shoots right up into the tree. Wow, it's cold. I have to take my gloves off to film. So there'll be small short clips. I don't see any prints of anybody who's been out here today, since this snowfall just started. Only a few hours ago. I don't at all remember any of this water being here. Maybe it's just the time of season. I do not at all remember any of this, but maybe when I hike here in the spring or something, or I don't know, maybe it's not flowing. Maybe it's dried up and a little marshy. I'm not sure. I definitely don't remember this river being here. I keep taking, 15 to 20 paces, and I stop, and I've been doing that continuously. And it's really awesome because as I'm walking, I'm kind of looking left and right, and my eyes don't see as much as when you stop and really scan what's around you. And just a few minutes back, I was standing there and I was just looking at the water and looking across the river. And some snow had fallen behind me onto a little sapling, like this little sapling here. It just kind of fell and it made a noise. And my heart completely jumped. I was like, all right, settle down there, big guy. It is gorgeous out here. Absolutely beautiful. Man, I just don't remember this trail. I've hiked out here before. I don't at all remember the trail. But, of course, it's, I don't know, it's been a little while since I parked at where I parked my van and came in and hiked in this way. It's been a while. Even though I've hiked out in this area just a week or two ago. It just looks so different coming from an opposite direction, I think my favorite part about hiking alone. I made a whole dedicated an entire video to why I like to hike alone. Oh. And one of them is I can stop anytime I want and just listen, and it's complete silence and just so quiet. I can hear the snow like hitting the top of my hood on my poncho, and it's so quiet. Wow, that's about as fresh as you can be right there, huh? Huh. Wonder what knocked that over. Moose, maybe. Maybe Sam Squamps knocked it over, right? I gotta say, those LL Bean gloves that I have got to be the warmest gloves I've ever owned. But I think I'm still going to light a fire in a little bit. I'm only hiked in. I've only been hiking for maybe a half an hour, 25 minutes maybe. So I'll wait a little while till kind of my bones get cold and I'll get a little blaze going. That's my favorite, having a little fire in the wintertime out in the forest. I'm going to stop and take a listen here. I have yet to see any prints out here, so I don't think anybody's out here with me today. At least not human, anyways, that I've seen so far. I just heard fairly distant, but a really deep bark. So maybe somebody's walking a dog out here, or and it was just one big old spooky scary bark. The first bird I've heard the whole time out here. It must be alerting the Sasquatch that I'm here. I'm kidding. Yeah, I haven't heard any animals out here until just now. Another footbridge I see. I don't remember these. It has... I don't know. I should remember it. Why don't I? I don't know. There's another footbridge right there. Nice peaceful little brook. I don't know why this is so foreign to me out here. I've been out here a bunch of times now. Where'd that bird go? I heard it. Boy, is it pretty out here. Pretty scary. No, I'm kidding. Oh, I see a sign over there. That's good. That's good. Let me get a look at that. Let's get a look at that sign. Oh, jeez. Mary and Joseph. Get a look at that sign. Okay. This might be the spot me and Josh were at a couple weeks ago. Yes, it is. Okay. To the river, that sign says. To the river. Even though it's blurry, I promise that's what it says. And this says Route 202 to parking lot. I think I'm going to go to the river. I hear a little woodland creature. To river. Well, I'm actually out here a ways now that I think about it. How long it took me and Josh to get here from the river with the structures. Probably about an hour. And I've been hiking for about an hour. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm just kind of talking to myself. Oh, what do we got? A little bit of marsh here. Yeah. Oh, mackerel on ice. All right. That's okay. Think light. Think light. It's hard, 270 pounds to think light. Oh. right, this doesn't look good. Really? This does not look good. Oh, okay. All right. Let me get up on some land here. All right. This is all flooded over here. And that's the way that the trail markers want me to go. But I got to turn back. I'm not walking through that marsh area, but something interesting I'll show you. This here, right here, is a little footbridge, and then this here, right here, used to run that way. Someone picked that up. Jeez, my big old fat fumble fingers. Somebody picked that up and moved it and shifted it sideways. And I noticed that when me and Josh were out here a few weeks back. It was before the snow, actually. So this was, I don't know why somebody would move it. It used to go right across. So you could actually cross this marsh area here, but I have to turn back. So I'll take the other trail that goes further into the woods away from the river. I wonder often what Sasquatch, if they hibernate, or, I mean, they must be very inactive in the winter, I would think. Conserving calories, and maybe staying in like a cave system. I mean, I couldn't see them in a snowstorm. I don't know, just letting all that snow collect on their fur, and I mean, it must be freezing, right? I don't know. It's just stuff I think about when I'm out here. And I had maybe I'll leave them a couple of blankets out by my little gifting rock there, or out by the structure where I left the marbles. Maybe leave them a couple of wool blankets and a pair of my LL Bean gloves. Man, it's hard to see. Sometimes I'm walking on ice, and I can't see it because of the snow. This is looking real familiar to me. Let me swing around and give you a look. I had somebody mention in one of my last videos that they heard talking. That somebody had mentioned that I haven't even gone back to look at it. I've been really busy, but that they heard someone say, "Help Dean," or something like that, and there was talking going on. And I'll admit that I hear it too. But I don't know if it's my clothes rubbing together, if it's a noise my backpack makes, because as soon as I stop to listen, I don't hear anything. And it leads me to think that it's my clothing or something moving, sliding along against each other, or that makes it sound like that. I can't explain it, but I will say to a couple of the people that left that in the comments about hearing talking, I hear it too. But I think sometimes it's my clothing. I don't know. I don't even like to think about it that much, especially when I'm out here by myself. I don't want to know. I just don't want to know. And I mean, I don't feel overly frightened or anything like that, or like I should turn around and leave, at least not yet. But, you know, when I hear that talking, it's always when I'm moving. It's the second I stop. You know, and it's like that with everything out here. Whenever I hear some noises or I feel like possibly I'm being paced or something like that or whatever, every time I stop, if I'm hearing a noise that's kind of suspect, it always stops when I stop. This looks like a decent spot to get a little fire going, warm up the bones. I think that's what I'll do. I changed my mind about the fire, or at least that spot. I'm going to pick a little different spot. Something a little more undercover, so to speak. So I think that I'm headed back towards the river, towards, I call it my river, where the 5 structures are, the 5 teepee structures. And the snow is picking up pretty good. I'll hike here. I'm going to hike I'll hike another probably 3/4 of a mile or a mile. That's interesting. It's an interesting little area here. I think I'll keep moving, whistling past the graveyard. The snow's a little deeper right there in the woods. Yeah, the snow is definitely picking up. I love it. It's beautiful, beautiful. Feels like it's getting colder out, for sure. Oh, yes, please. So, I think I might... what was that I just saw in the screen behind me? I think I'm going to warm up and probably start heading back. It's been out here for a couple hours, so maybe not even. Feels like it. I haven't gone incredibly far. Mile and a half, probably 2 miles. But it's taken me forever because of my 20 paces stopping, listening, going off trail, looking at stuff here and there, and so I'll probably start to make my way out of here. I kind of got a late start today. I didn't come out until I think it was noon. It might have been closer to 1 actually, 1 o'clock. So I don't have a ton of sunlight here. The sun goes down about 4:20, 4:30 or so, probably 4:15 now, this time of year. So I got enough daylight to get out of here. I'm gonna warm up, make sure this fire is out, and start to make my way back, follow my tracks out. Boy, this is a nice little spot. Very little snow was getting through the canopy. I picked a good spot. Okay. So I picked out a little spot here underneath these pines. It's a really nice, oops, sorry for swinging around, a really nice canopy. Get a little fire, warm the bones. I want to show you guys these things. They're pretty cool. My nephew Josh got them for me. They're like these little hockey pucks. They're just, they're called fire drops, I think they're called. They come in a box. There's like 6 or 8 in a box. And they work really, really well. They work similar to the little cubes that I use from time to time to get a fire going. It's important too to remember, put a base down. Obviously, especially on the snow, but any fire, put a base of sticks down first, and then get your fire going on top of that. The moist ground, it will suck that flame. It'll just make it really difficult to get a fire going. There's no issue with this. As far as lighting just one of these blocks, you light it up, and next thing you know, bam, Bob's your uncle, and you got yourself a nice little blaze. I got my backpack covered up right now with my poncho. I probably should not let the snow go inside of the hood. So these things, this is the second time I've tried these little, they're like, I think it's just compressed, kind of like a Duralog, just probably compressed like camel dung or something like that, but picked a nice spot here next to a couple of leaners. These 2 little sticks leaned up against the tree. I figured, oh, that's as good a spot as any. If I had seen that boulder right there, I probably would have set up right in front of that. Oh, nice professionalism, Dave. Yeah, probably if I had even noticed it and I didn't, I would have started that fire right up against that boulder. In a situation where you need heat, you need it fast, and then you want to keep a fire going for a few hours, up against a rock like that is perfect, because that rock will retain heat and it will kick the heat, reflect the heat right back at you. Good little survival tip. I should start a survival channel. Anyways, let's get warmed up. Feels like it's getting colder out, for sure. Oh, yes, please. So, I think I might... what was that I just saw in the screen behind me? I think I'm going to warm up and probably start heading back. It's been out here for a couple hours, so maybe not even. Feels like it. I haven't gone incredibly far. Mile and a half, probably 2 miles. But it's taken me forever because of my 20 paces stopping, listening, going off trail, looking at stuff here and there, and So I'll probably start to make my way out of here. I kind of got a late start today. I didn't come out until, I think it was noon. It might have been closer to 1 actually, 1 o'clock. So I don't have a ton of sunlight here. The sun goes down about 4:20, 4:30 or so, probably 4:15 now, this time of year. So I got enough daylight to get out of here. I'm gonna warm up, make sure this fire is out, and start to make my way back, follow my tracks out. Boy, this is a nice little spot. Very little snow was getting through the canopy. I picked a good spot. Okay. Just was looking around my little day camp here, and I spotted something strange. I was standing there getting some heat. It could be nothing. A couple of things right here, right where I stopped. That's pretty cool right there. Kind of sitting freestyle, so to speak. And then I was looking at all of this stuff over here. Look at all of that. It's interesting there. Oh, more hangers. A hanger there. There's a lean and a hang. It could be nothing, right? Natural, au naturel. Or could be forest manipulation. All right, I'm going to get ready to head out. It's a little bit later than I thought. It's about 2:20. And I got a couple of hours to get out of here. That means I'm going to be racing daylight. So I'm going to take in a little bit more heat. Get back on the trail. The trail is right up over here somewhere. I'll make sure this thing is fully out. All right, I gotta pack up, get my stuff back on. I just wanted to show you a little bit of strangeness going on over there. I noticed that too, which I didn't see at first. That lean right there. Come on, focus. Right there. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Terrible, terrible. Okay. I am making good time. I'm back to, all right. I'm making really good time. So this way, behind me is to the river. And then to my right is back to the parking lot where I parked. You guys saw this already. So I'm making really good time, boogieing, kicking it right along. I heard a gunshot in the distance a little ways back. Somebody's out here hunting or killing some awesome woodland creature. Killing a deer or moose or something, and it's a shame. I got nothing against people that hunt. I don't. I'm against it. I shouldn't say that. I don't hunt. I don't want to kill anything. But you know, there are reasons to thin out the population of deer. I totally understand that. Or else they'll eat all their food, then they'll have no sustenance to. They'll all die out. So I get that. I guess that's why people get. People will get permits to hunt or whatever, and you can kill or harvest, a certain amount of deer or moose. And I know too, you get a good sized buck, you can feed your family all winter on that, So I understand it. I also think it's something that I should learn how to do it. I should learn how to process a deer, and something I kind of been thinking about. I had my first try over the summer of processing a bass. I caught a bass, and I cooked it out in open fire, and it wasn't that good, but I had some seasoning. I seasoned it up a little bit. I think it's important to know, to kind of get back to your roots, kind of to know how to do it. We're so reliant on technology, and everybody's so plugged in, so to speak, to life, to everywhere you go, you've got a computer in your car. I carry a computer right in my pocket with my phone, and I suggest just unplug every once in a while and get out. I have no reception here. I mean, it's not like I can't go on Facebook or YouTube or anything out here. And I like that. My phone can't ring. I think I could make an emergency call, I believe. I believe I have that capability on the phone, just emergency 911 call. I don't know how that works. If I have reception to make an emergency call, why wouldn't I have reception? But whatever. Look at this here. This could be a snow load. And it has not stopped. Oh, I wasn't talking into the microphone. It hasn't stopped. Boy, this snow is just coming down. It's that little tiny snow. They're not really big, huge flakes. There's that design. Again, I see it so often. And I'm going to go check it out. Here, hold on. I see this design all the time. So common. It's just, it cannot be an accident. Can't be an accident. This particular design, a tree, and then branches that come out like that. I see it everywhere. Man, I really do. My eyes notice that a lot. I've said that in other videos that I've made. That's a reoccurring design that I see a lot, along with asterisks and X's. And maybe Mother Nature just likes doing that, I suppose. I think I've got plenty of time to make it to the parking lot before sundown. I'm pretty confident I'll have plenty of time. Boy, these are my tracks, and you can barely even see them. Well, I can hear the road in the distance. There's also people out here. And the tracks, I started to see them back a half a mile or so, but I don't see anybody. It looks like two people. Somebody else is out here enjoying nature. It's funny, people with this see this weather and they want to stay home in front of the fireplace, stay nice and toasty. But I can't stress enough, if you dress correctly, stay nice and warm and dry, it's wonderful. I wonder why I didn't see anybody They might have taken a different trail, that's why. Wow, look at how terrible that focus is. Ah, there it is. Maybe if I walk very gingerly. Anyways, beautiful, awesome hike. Saw a couple things that make you go, Had a nice little fire. You know what? To put the fire out, I used the snow. And like a lunkhead, I didn't have my gloves on. So stupid. So when I put the fire out, my hands were cold. Thank goodness for my LL Beans. Yeah, I think I've got no problem with getting out before sundown. I'm the type of person that people think I'm crazy, but I get to work an hour and a half early. I know it sounds crazy, but I don't like surprises. If I hadn't paid attention to the time and got caught out here at night, the temperature's going to drop. I mean, it's already dropped dramatically since I got out here. I think it's 20 degrees. And I guess that's not dramatic, is it? So it dropped 3 degrees. Not dramatic at all, but you know, that sun leaves the sky and the wind picks up a bit out here. It'd be a mighty uncomfortable night out in the forest. I heard a story yesterday. I'll make it brief. This gentleman, this lugnut, went hiking in Monadnock Park, not far from me, right in Jaffrey, New Hampshire. He's from Boston, and he started his hike at 2:55 in the afternoon. He had to call 911. He hiked out into the Monadnocks, realized it was getting dark. By then it's too late. I think this was Saturday, this just past Saturday. And he had to call for a rescue to get him out. I'm telling you, some people, I happened to be right in that area that day. I hiked right in that spot. But I was in there at 9 and out of there by 3 or something. I don't remember exactly. But what a numbnut, right? Going in there at 3 in the afternoon, and I don't know. All right, let's go back to the barn. I got something I just want to talk about briefly. Well, made it back safe and sound. It is still snowing like a banshee. I had plenty of time with the daylight. It wasn't an issue at all. I always make sure I leave enough time because I am not going to be the guy that has to call 911 to get rescued out of the forest. Thank you guys so much for clicking. I really do appreciate it. Have an awesome holiday. I'm sure I'll see you before then. But until then, guys, I'll definitely see you guys on the next one. Almost forgot. I want your feedback on gifting, on your opinion, on leaving gifts for Bigfoot. So far, the only thing I've ever done is the marbles. I'm kind of against leaving food. I don't want to feed them and then have them all of a sudden when I'm not leaving food, I got them following me home and smacking the side of my barn while I'm sitting in here. Tell me your thoughts on it. I know that there are some channels out there that have awesome success with gifting, stuff like that. So let me know what you think. Leave some comments, and if you have some experiences gifting, and what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Definitely see you guys on the next one.